Love the way we win. Love the way they lose. Come up in the link, you gonna hear them boos. Eagles, baby. I wanna cheer for ya. Eagles, baby. I wanna cheer for ya. Love the way we win. Love the way they lose. Come up in the link, you gonna hear them boos. Eagles, baby. I wanna cheer for ya. Eagles, baby. I wanna cheer for ya. What do you think what's your biggest concern? Because my biggest concern is the motivation.
Yeah, I think my biggest concern is they need to be aggressive defensively. I think that the defensive front for the past couple of years, for actually maybe Howie Roseman's entire tenure in Philadelphia, the defensive front has covered up a lot of things, in the linebacker area, the secondary area. And to us this year, just from what I've seen, when we get to the quarterback and make his life difficult, we succeed the most. And when we don't get to the quarterback, it seems like Gannon, plays that cushion zone defense a lot. He doesn't want to give up the big play, and that's when a quarterback can stand there in the pocket and eat you alive over the middle. And I think Daniel Jones can do that. He's that kind of quarterback. Like I said,
he was doing it against the Vikings. He was hitting that tight end heavy.
Yeah, he's a game manager. He can sit back there and make the slant throws and the little out throws. And if you're not being aggressive and you're not getting pressure on him, those two things, creativity defensively, bring the house once in a while. Sneak in a CGJ safety blitz. Sneak in a something. Be a little bit creative. You can't just sit here and zone it out the whole game, especially if your front four is not getting pressure. If your front four is getting pressure, then you're good to go. You can sit back there in the zone because he's going to be scrambling for his life the whole game. So it's all about the front four getting pressure to me, I think. And if they're not getting pressure, you need Jonathan Gannon to adjust and not just sit there and let them get killed over the middle of the whole game. Because that's probably my biggest fear, is that if you're not getting pressure on Jones, he can stand in the pocket and just hit you over the middle, 5 yards, 7 yards, 8 yards, 12 yards, 5 yards, 3 yards, straight down the field.
So are you concerned about Jonathan Gannon? Because, I feel like 70% of our fan base is not rocking with Jonathan Gannon. How are you feeling about him?
Yeah, I think he's just like most professional coaches that I've ever really watched or, watched over a period of time. They get to a certain level and they get this ego and they get this pride and they refuse to adjust because of that. They think think about the level you are at in the sports world. I got to this level. Do you think anybody in this room knows more than me? I think that's the mindset some people get when they get up there. And they have their own philosophy and they kind of refuse to accept when it's not working because this is what got them that far. So they're kind of, this is going to work. It worked to get me all the way to a defensive coordinator job in the NFL. It's going to keep working. And they refuse to adjust. And I think Jonathan Gannon gets that. He has an ego and he just runs his same system into the ground. I mean, you're giving up 35 points against the Detroit Lions in week 1. He didn't adjust anything that entire game. It just over the middle killed us. Last year, the quarterback that it was probably the one you didn't want to face with that kind of zone defense, Tom Brady, probably the best, maybe the best quarterback of all time. I would say definitely the best over the middle check down quarterback of all time. And he just straight down. I said I predicted that I said this is exactly what's going to happen. Tom Brady over the middle all day. He's going to eat us up, and he did. And like you said, he aged 10 years in 1 year, so he's done now. But I think that's Jonathan Gannon's issue. I think he has an ego, and I think that's why most of Philadelphia wants him out of here. I think he's been taking interviews for head coaching jobs also because Nick Sirianni also has an ego. But I think Nick Sirianni, isn't afraid to get his point across that I am the one in charge here. I'm over top of everybody. And if I had to guess, they've probably had some disagreements and some arguments about what Gannon should be doing defensively. I think there was one game where Sirianni kind of called him out in a press conference, kind of said you know, we're going to switch things up if it's not working. Didn't say his name or anything, but we got beat up defensively. And he said something slick like that. Like, you know, I basically was saying, like, I wish I would have got the quote before I came in here. He said something like, you know, I have my hands in everything. And if I think something needs to adjust, I'm going to adjust it myself. So wouldn't shock me. But yeah, I would be fine. I would be fine if he took a job somewhere else. I don't think he's spectacular at all. I don't think he's any better than, you know, the average NFL defensive coordinator.
Especially with all the talent, like with all the talent we have, like I've been impressed, of course, with the defense this year, but it's definitely the talent and not the coaching. And I give Gannon a little bit more credit just as of lately, because in that Saints game, he did tighten up at the half. Now, some people want to say, oh, why did it take him until the half to tighten up? But at least he tightened up at some point. I'm sick of Nick Sirianni coming in these press conferences, getting asked about running the ball. Oh, yeah, we need to look at that. We do need to be running the ball more. We have the greatest running back in the world in Miles Sanders, and he's phenomenal, and we want him to get his touches, and he has his goals, and we have his goals for him, and we want to see him getting that, and we want to see him getting the ball and getting more touches. He says that every week we come out, and it's just when we started running the ball against the Saints, it was working. I just don't get why it took so long. When in the Dallas game, it was working. What took so long? Like, start running the ball early. Establish the run early. It's not rocket science. Like, football is built on pressure in the trenches and running the ball. It's really not that deep, especially when you got an offensive line like we got in Miles. I don't get why. I feel like you said, it's them being cocky, and I feel like it's the youth about them too, trying to be flashy and cute instead of just keeping it what it is. Like, you see these old coaches doing what works. Like, it might not be cute, it might not be flashy. You don't get no style points. It's just wins and losses at the end of the day. So I just think it's with them, that youthness, them being young, trying to prove something, trying to be cute and clever. Just run the dang ball, hand the ball off. It works when we do it. I don't get it.
Yeah, and the system that they've put together for Jalen and is heavy, you know, motion RPO. It's heavy RPO. It's heavy. The quarterback's making the decision here, and you rely on Jalen to make the right decision, and he does that. He did that phenomenally this year. You know, just reading the defensive end. I remember that. I like to bring it up whenever the Cowboys fans start talking. When how Jalen beat Micah Parsons.
When do they not start talking?
How Jalen beat Micah Parsons without anybody blocking him, just staring at him and either taking off up the middle himself or handing the ball off him, and Micah was just standing there and didn't know what to do. So I think they put that system together for Hurts, and it works so well that Sirianni kind of feels like a genius. This is the system that's going to take over the NFL. And then he refuses to change it quick enough when it's not working. Also, with playing a game with Minshew, it was funny that they didn't adjust the offensive game plan at all. They just thought they could stuff Minshew in Jalen Hurts'. Maybe that was that. Was that the coach saying, like, my system is everything? I can just plug Gardner Minshew into this system, and it's gonna work. And that's what they tried to do. And Gardner Minshew, I mean, you know, God bless the guy. He's he looked like he was stuck in quicksand the whole game. And I didn't know he was that slow. I thought he could move a little bit. I had no
idea. Slow is too nice. He was immobile. He could not move.